Good morning to Memphis Day 2. If you couldn't tell, we are at Graceland and it's super windy, so we're gonna head inside in just a minute. But we've already checked in, we got our tour passes, we are doing the full shebang, so stay tuned. We're gonna do everything you can dream of and more here. Of course, if you're enjoying our travel videos, leave us a like. Don't forget to subscribe because we got plenty more videos coming out of everywhere and anywhere that we're going to. So yeah, let's get inside. She's gonna lose her hat if we don't.
Yeah, I'm holding on for dear life for this hat.
But welcome to Graceland. Here we go. Alright, so we were just back there. You walk up, there's shops, Vernon Steakhouse, which we get to eat at later. And then this is the ticketing center. Where are you going? You can say hi.
Trying to hide from y'all.
So yeah, we're gonna go in. We're gonna hang out here until our tour starts. Welcome to Graceland. This home was purchased by Elvis in 1957 from the Moors at the age of 22 for $100,000. Elvis would spend about 4 to 6 months out of the year here, especially for Christmas and his birthday. The 1970 original security cameras that Elvis installed are still being used today. Now, when you enter the home, the first place that you see to your right is that beautiful living room. There is a 15-foot sofa that originally cost Elvis $1,300 and a 10-foot coffee table that was all handmade. As you can see, there's beautiful stained glass of peacocks, which symbol eternal life, and Elvis wanted to live forever. Purchased those stained glass from LeCouf Stained Glass Company for about $9,300, which that stained glass company is still operational in Memphis today. As you go down the hallway, you will see what is known as the purple bedroom. That was for his mother, Gladys. Gladys loved the colored purple, and he had that custom made for her. Now, as we go a little further down the house, you will now see the dining room. The dining room, of course, is very large, which Elvis would have family meals there at about 8 or 9 o'clock. It was always important for him to have family time. Elvis would sit at the head of the table with a direct view to the TV that was placed in the dining room for him to watch some of his favorite shows. Some of Elvis's favorite food included meatloaf with peas, fried chicken, and of course that infamous peanut butter and banana sandwich. The kitchen, as we can see here, is a 24-hour diner style with all the new and latest gadgets of its time. Someone would be in there to cook whenever you had a craving, say at like 3 a.m. Now, we are going to go down into the basement, which was designed by Bill Eubanks. In this room here, as you can see, is the yellow and navy blue lightning bolt, which was part of Elvis's motto and symbol, taking care of business lightning fast. Elvis also had 3 TVs placed in this room, which came from the concept of the Oval Office where President Lyndon Johnson had TVs. Now, the difference is that Elvis would watch college football games on here. Next is probably my most favorite room in the house, which is the billiard room. That billiards table originally came with the house. Elvis didn't want it moved, so we kept it. This room is a turn-of-the-century European, Asian, Indian, 1970 American influence. It took a crew about 3 to 10 days to cut and pleat and hang 350 to 400 yards of cotton fabric on the wall. Alright guys, let's go to that jungle room. The jungle room originally started as a screened-in porch, and it was an add-on to the house in 1964. All the furniture is hand-carved pine, which reminded him of Hawaii. He even had an indoor waterfall installed into this room. The last 2 records of Elvis was recorded in this jungle room, And fun fact, Lisa Marie even recorded an album in this room. Off to the backyard. Backyard was huge, which was used for touch football and firework battles with Elvis's friends and family, where they would shoot Roman candles at one another. It's been said a time or two that a Roman candle would get loose and end up in the kitchen. Next, we find Vernon's office, which is where Elvis did that famous press conference upon return from his time in the service. Vernon also had a smoke pit next to his office where he would typically smoke his meats until Elvis and his friends turned it into a firing range. Pew pew! As you can see from the bullet holes, they weren't always a good shot. Now as you turn out and look, you see the horse barn, which Elvis at times would house about 12 horses. Him and Lisa loved to go horseback riding. At the time of his passing, he had 5 horses on his property, one of which being his favorite called Rising Sun. Next, as we ventured off into a couple of different areas of Graceland, Vernon was very good at keeping records. So as you can see, there's all different types of checks, stubs, purchases, and things of that nature. But the one thing I want to point out is Elvis's childhood bike. Vernon purchased this and had to make payments on it. This was originally hanging up in the smokehouse, but it has since been restored. As we go along the corridor, you will find the desk that is typically found upstairs in Elvis's office of Graceland, but was brought down for display with the blessing of Lisa Marie. If you ever turn around on the back side of that desk, there's a hidden TV in it. As we enter a separate area, as I like to call Elvis's gallery, you'll find things such as Elvis's birth certificate, and then pictures of Graceland when it snowed, which I think is beautiful. You'll also find the deed to Graceland here, which Elvis, like I said, purchased in 1957. You also see a couple of different sketch art ideas of when they started renovating Graceland right after he bought it, which I think are pretty cool. Of course, none of those are the actual end result of what Graceland looks like today, but of course, as always, Elvis never stopped renovating it. He would always change out the carpet, the linoleum tile, switch up the furniture and things like that. So what we see Graceland as today is how Elvis left it at his time of passing. You can also see some of Lisa Marie's baby items, such as her carriage and the baby bed. You'll also see family photos of Elvis and of Lisa Marie as well. Now, to look back on some of those things, are very wholesome, and you see Elvis at his most happiest time in his life. Now, on to the pool. This was purchased and to be made in 1957. Prior to the pool being filled, Elvis had bought some donkeys, and they didn't have an enclosed fence, so tomato, tomato, a pool works as an enclosed fence, and they put the donkey down there until they could get an enclosed space for them. Next is the racquetball court, which was later added to the property and is not original part of the house. Elvis loved to play racquetball, and it is said that on the day of Elvis' passing, he had played a racquetball game that morning. Next, we go into the meditation garden. This is where the entire family is buried. Now, Elvis's grandmother originally was not buried there. They had to get permission to move her. When they got permission to move her, they took the headstone and everything. It took a little bit for her to finally get buried there, but she's now there with all the Presleys. Of course, Vernon and Gladys are buried there. Elvis himself is. And now, Lisa Marie is buried there next to her son. The whole family is there together. And it is kind of sombersome being there just frequently after Lisa Marie's passing. It is a beautiful garden, and I think it does justice to the family. Since Jazz and I were able to do the VIP Ultimate Experience, we got to do some other fun stuff as well. Like, for instance, check out this photo of us here holding Italian leather boots worn by Elvis, which he's a size 12D. Talk about a big foot. This leather boot was worn with his quote-unquote fireworks suit, which you'll be able to see in our part 2 of Graceland Tour. I thought it was really cool that we got to see some things that most other people don't get to see or even hold or experience while on this tour. There was also a cabinet of other cool knickknacks, such as Elvis's most prized jewelry, some of Colonel Tom Parker's items, which was donated by him and his family for the Graceland Tour. And yeah, I would suggest checking out the VIP tour if you're ever in Graceland. We step off the tour bus into what is known as the VIP holding area. And if you're looking at this and you're thinking it looks like it would be a good garage, you were right. Because it originally was, and it housed a couple of different of Elvis's favorite vehicles. You'll also see some of Elvis's jewelry, which contained his name or his initial. You'll see some of the .38 caliber handguns that were custom made and everything, as well as his father's police badge, which I thought was really cool, as well as some of the county police badges and things. Elvis actually, fun fact, was an honorary police officer for Memphis. Now, he couldn't make any arrests or anything like that, but because he was famous, his father Vernon was a police officer, they gave him that title. Boom, 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 boom. Hello! Over there's Graceland, the mansion. There's Lisa Marie, his aircraft. Let's go check it out.
The Lisa Marie, which he nicknamed his Flying Graceland, took Elvis to concerts and family vacations, all in incredible rock and roll style. Elvis purchased a jet for $250,000 from Delta since it was out of service. Elvis then remodeled it for $80,000. It has 2.5 baths, a lounge, and a conference area, and a master bedroom. The belt buckles are gold-plated. It also had an 8-track stereo and a mini bar, a ground-to-sky phone for those important phone calls. Elvis first took flight in the Lisa Marie in November 1975 to Vegas for his 2 weeks worth of shows. Elvis dreamed of owning his own air fleet and ended up purchasing 5 more aircrafts, one of which he named Hound Dog 2. 1984 is when Lisa Marie made its permanent home here at Graceland for all to see.
Okay guys, couldn't record in there. There's a lot of places where you can't record when it comes to touring on the property, on the grounds and stuff like that. But we got some cool photos. Got a little bit of fun facts for you. But yeah, there she is. His logo, taking care of business light and fast. And asked when the last time his aircraft has actually been piloted, flown, seen the air, and the person manning it said probably at the time of his death. So when Elvis passed, that's probably the last time it flew. So it's just been sitting here looking all nice and pristine. It smelled though. It's very much smelled like your grandma's 1970s sofa in there. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, it very much felt like it too.
Yes. Alright, so we're gonna go see the little aircraft now. Okay, we're in the little aircraft. It looks like the planes I either ride in for like military purposes or have gone skydiving out of. Look at that.
Wow.
All the gadgets and gizmos aplenty. They can't go no further than this, but this is probably where he puddle jumped, probably from like Vegas, for his Vegas residency that he had there, back to Memphis. Yeah, puddle jumper.
So guys, this ends part 1 of our Graceland tour. If you've enjoyed it so far, leave us a like and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on part 2 of Graceland rolling out later this week. Until then, bye!